everybody. Welcome back to Teensy Vintage. My name is Teresa, and today I have a summer cold, so you can probably hear it in my voice. I apologize. Today we're going to make a little notebook out of some cardboard and some collage and a photo of Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls. I've been very into the Golden Girls lately, like everybody else. Oh man, when I was a little kid, my mother would not let me watch that show. She didn't let me watch a lot of shows, but definitely not the one about the four, sassy ladies living in Miami. Uh, but today we're going to put together a little notebook made out of cardboard and library book cards. Those little cards you used to use to check out a book from the library. So this is a cute notebook. I got this idea from another artist, and I am going completely blank on her name, but I will have it in the description below. She has a really cool tutorial on how to make the notebooks, and I just couldn't resist. So here we go. Just tape it, I'm using Mod Podge to collage different pieces of paper. I've got a little bit of book paper, I've got some scrapbook paper, I have what looks like some roll-off paper from when I was making some gel press prints. So it's got some paint and ink on it. And now I'm going to put some more Mod Podge over the top of this paper to seal it. This is matte Mod Podge. I don't really like the glossy. It's too shiny. For this particular project, I just wanted to keep everything nice and matte. So, but you want to use glossy, you go right ahead. Going to cut off the edges now and make sure that the back is also nice and sealed. I apologize for going off screen here. I guess I didn't realize exactly where my hands were in relation to the camera. It's been one of those weeks, y'all. So now we're drying our Mod Podge just to make sure everything is a nice working surface going forward. And I'm like, you know what? This back piece needs a little more color. Something interesting. The back doesn't need to be too fancy because, well, it's the back of a notebook. But, I like things to be colorful and bright. So we're going to put this gel press page with this fun yellow, green, and blue print on it. Kind of goes with the front. And then a little bit of that paper will go on the front as well. And then, I feel like with collage, you know that it's done. So I keep adding things until I'm like, yeah, that looks good. You want to make sure you get all the little corners glued down too. We're cutting off our excess so that all of the edges are nice and straight. I had to get out the teeny tiny scissors here because some of the cardboard was just slightly longer than the other pieces. And here I put a little too much Mod Podge down and it kind of seeped out. So we're going to push out the excess and that will give us a nice flat surface. I will also say this is very messy. So if you're not into being messy, maybe this isn't the project for you. But I don't mind it. I always end up with something on my hands. Nothing a good scrub brush and some soap won't take care of. Now I'm taking some white acrylic paint and I'm using this round stencil. And the white paint isn't exactly going to show up. It's not a big contrast. But what it's going to do is add a little bit of texture, and it's going to also kind of break up some of those big pieces of collage paper that we put down. And we're going to put some on the back as well. And some of this will be covered up by a few more of our embellishments. and some of it won't. So now here's our focal. This is a little game card from a Golden Girls trivia game that I found at the Goodwill bins. I'm using my Tim Holtz decal trimmer to give it some rough edges on all four sides because I just wanted it to be a little more interesting than a tiny card. So I am trying to figure out what else needs to go here. And this die cut is really, one, it's the wrong color. And two, I don't think it's big enough for what I'm trying to do. Regardless, it doesn't really work. So I'm going to pull out the stash here of all my bits and bobs. Little pieces of paper and other die cuts. Things that are in different colors. You know, you never know. All this paper is great to have because sometimes it'll work on a project. Sometimes it won't, and who knows. So we just keep it all in one place. Pull out something interesting here. Here I'm trying to use some contrasting color. I've also got this magazine cut out. It says Treat Yourself, which I know is a Parks and Recreation tidbit, but in concert with the quote from Blanche on the little card, it does work. Now here I am auditioning layouts, and we end up going with option number 3. Or 4, option number 4. There we go. All right, now going to put down a nice thin layer of Mod Podge, put down our die cut. The beautiful thing about these sponge brushes and Mod Podge is that they will get in all those little nooks and crannies in the die cut, and you will have a wonderfully adhered piece. Excuse me. We've put down our card, and there goes Treat Yourself. Be gentle over the magazine paper. It's very thin. It does like to crinkle a little bit, and it does end up doing that. You can see I'm trying to fix that a little bit with my fingers. It kind of gets fixed. It's not ideal, but you know what? I think it ended up really, really cute, so I'm not that worried about it. Now I'm pulling out a gold paint pen. This is a quick dry permanent opaque pen from Sakura, and it's the Pen Touch Calligrapher. And this is a really nice pen marker. It's got a chisel point rather. Words are hard today. It's hard to think when you're sick. Anyway, I'm going around the edges of the cardboard with the gold, and it just elevates the notebook just a little bit. You could do this with black, you could do it with a Sharpie, you could use silver if you have that, or white. I'm also going to end up taking a little bit of ink to go around the edges later. Here I'm using the Stabilo Marks All pencil, and now I'm doing the inking. This is just to get the corners a little bit and give it a little bit of depth. And there is our Crop-o-dile. And there's another notebook that I had made previously. So I'm using the little hole in that one to be my guide for the new notebook covers. And I'm using the big punch. There's a little punch and a big punch on each one of these. Each side of the Crop-o-dile, rather. And now we're going to pull out 25 of these book cards. They're all brand new. I bought them in bulk off Amazon. And what do you know? I pulled out 25 cards. That was really random, but cool. So I'm going to take a few at a time here. Mark where I want the hole to be punched. Since I'm doing just a few at a time, I just held them together. But you could also use a binder clip if you want to be really precise. And I'm just going to go through and punch holes in the rest of these. And then we have a loose ring binder clip. Oh, sorry. A loose ring clip. It's not a binder clip. That I have put around. And the nice thing about this is that once you use up all the library cards, you could replace them with more library cards or index cards. I've got a little bit of Sari fabric, S-A-R-I. Those I got off eBay, or Etsy rather, and just tied a nice little bow on them for a little flair. I really appreciate y'all watching, and again, forgive my cold and my inability to speak coherently today. Thanks for watching.